Kara was 13 years old. She lived in a 3-bedroom house with a basement. So Kara's room was right across from the bathroom, and her best friend, who was 15 years old, came over. They always hung out together. So they were hanging out in a room and they fell asleep. They actually woke up around midnight, but this was not like abnormal for them because they always woke up around midnight for some reason. So Kara wakes up and she feels this odd feeling, like she's kind of scared. So she calls her friend's name to see if she's awake also, and she is also awake. So as teenagers do, they start talking about scary stories. They're talking about a time where Kara's sister experienced something crazy in her basement, and all of a sudden they see something moving in the closet. Kara sees this black figure standing at the end of her bed, but it's like this little black figure just standing there staring at her. So Kara, to her best friend, timidly goes, look at the end of the bed. Her best friend looks when all of a sudden this tiny little figure starts standing up super slowly and is just getting taller and taller and taller until it is hovering above them. And they are terrified. Kara starts going, no, 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 while her friend gets under the covers. And this woke her mom up because she was saying no so loudly. So her mom comes in, the figure goes away, and she tells her mom what happens, and all her mom has to say is, listen, we've lived in this house for 8 years. If something wanted to get you, it would get you. One night they were all sleeping in the basement when all of a sudden they hear this big bang, like someone had fallen, and someone did. And this is what happened. Her little sister, littlest one, was on top of her middle sister while she was sleeping, just hovering over her, staring at her while she was sleeping. But she said that her sister did not look like herself. She looked with the scariest face she had ever seen. Her middle sister, the one that was laying down, that had the little girl on top of her in the face, and that is the boom that they heard on the ground, was her little sister falling to the ground. The creepiest thing about this is after the little girl falls to the ground, she literally gets up like nothing happens. Kara wakes up. She literally just opens up her eyes, doesn't move her body at all whatsoever, and she sees that her little sister is just holding onto the railing next to her face, holding onto the railing and just staring at her like this with that same face. So apparently when Kara opened her eyes, her little sister didn't notice that she had seen her, and so she knew she hadn't noticed she hadn't seen her, and she got really scared. So she turns over, rolls on her side, and she did this hoping that she would leave her alone. But she didn't, because then she falls asleep somehow after this, and she wakes up, I guess a couple minutes later, to her little sister laying right next to her in bed. She then said that as soon as she opened her eyes, her little sister shot up like this, turns around, runs towards the staircase. Then she looks back at her and then runs to her bed.